Good morning, guys. We have a specific job today. We're gonna replace the port on a PS Vita with a USB Type-C port. There is a mod out there. I don't know who makes it, but a customer sent it in, and we're gonna be doing just that. This is the PS Vita that I have taken apart already, and this is the port that we're gonna put in there, specifically made for the Vita. And we're going to get right to it. The port does come with some wiring, which you can see it on the picture there, on the image there. So let's get started. It's not that difficult. The only thing I actually did this before, and the only thing we got to be careful about is pretty much removing the old port. We don't want to knock off any components there, and we just got to be careful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix some leaded solder paste on there on the ports, on the points that you see there. I'm going to point them out. These to kind of mix that low melt solder so that we can easily remove it. We can either use a heat gun to remove it or some solder wick. Let's start by adding some low melt solder there and see how that goes. We'll probably end up using some heat and just removing that real quick. I'm going to add a little bit of flux here. This is I often use this type of flux. This is Antec, and sometimes I grab other brands, but this is actually pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the fume extractor, so bear with me with the sound, with the noise. This is a high temperature heat soldering iron, which should heat up pretty good. I want to thank you guys for the comments, the kind comments, and also our new subscribers. Much appreciate the comments there and subscribing to our channel. Let's do it on the other side as well. Let that sink in there for a little bit. We want to be careful with that cap that's on the side. I am also going to use a little bit of solder on these pins. To just ease the removal. Again, this is a PS Vita. We're gonna go ahead and mod it so that we can put a USB Type-C. That's good. We're going to go ahead and remove that anyways. I think I'm going to go ahead and use some heat here. So I'm going to put it in here. And we're going to Just carefully. Camera's moving a little bit, sorry about that. We're going to carefully use a little bit of heat from the top and just kind of warm the bottom to the point where we can just remove it. And it should come out pretty easily. What I'm doing here is I'm just heating up the metal piece, the actual port. As easy as that. Those are not broken traces. They were just like that earlier. Not necessary, not used. As you can see there, the port has been taken out. On the bottom heat, I just warmed it up. I didn't heat it at all, so the board is not hot that much, so which is good. All right, we have the board out. We have the port out. Everything is in place. This is just a little bit of dirt. Looks pretty clean to me. The adapter that we're going to put in there goes something like this. You guys can see that. I do have the schematics here on my phone, so I'm going to be referencing them and let me check them out real quick. So it looks like we can put the board in place, the little board in place by doing, it actually goes the other way. Good thing I checked. So it's going to go in like this. Okay. So we can put that in place by securing it and adding some solder, and then after we can solder everything else. I'm going to start by these sides, on these sides. And I'm going to use my high temperature heat solder iron. Turning on the fume extractor. That's that side. Let's add a little bit of flux on the other side. And these are just ground points that secure that little board and the USB port. I'm going to go ahead and push down with my finger, just make sure that it's there. Very well. I need to clean my solder tip. Okay, let's try again. Much better. So it is in place. Now we just get to wire some points here, which is the data, the ground, and the voltage. Let me just yank it a little bit, make sure the pressure is good. So for the, let me go back to the phone and reference the points there. We are going to be using that left 5 volt. We'll be using those 5 volts there on the left that you can see, and we'll be wiring that to the nearest resistor, which I will show you now. I'm just going to use a black wire for this. This is all I can see right now. So let's fire up some the fume extractor. I'm just going to peel this. Five volts is this resistor here. The resistor, the soldering, and the wire is in place. Very good. Now we have, let's see what we have here. I am looking for data plus, which is the one on the right. That one goes. Give me 1 second, I will be right back. All right, I'm back. So the wire, the D plus, goes, I checked on the schematic there, the phone, and I found out where it goes. This one goes on, I'm going to use the wire they sent us, that I received from this guy. So it goes up here. Okay, so on this filter that I'm pointing out, D plus goes at the bottom, D minus goes at D plus goes at the top, D minus goes at the bottom. So there's D plus. I am going to try to zoom in first a little bit, try to focus the camera. Hopefully that's okay. Put a little bit of flux, then turn on the fume extractor. Pre-tin this wire that is probably insulated. All right, and then wire it accordingly here. I'm going to try to remove the coating first. Bear with me, I gotta get some better tweezers. I mean, we could also wire it here, I guess. This is the bottom one, but we'll see. I am trying to remove the coating, okay? So, that is in place. It's well nicely secured. We will be cutting that carefully. All right. We can verify with a multimeter real quick. Make sure that that is creating a good contact. We'll go here. And sorry about the blurriness, but you hear that? So the contact is great. So we got one more to go, which is the bottom one. But the bottom one, if you guys can see, the bottom one goes right here. So we'll just be wiring that. That's probably D minus. Let me just verify. D minus goes to that point, yes. So we don't have to solder next to the other one and probably risk the removing that solder joint already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over, solder to it. Because the glariness, it can get pretty glary there sometimes. Same procedure, we're going to remove the coating off of this. Very well. We'll clean that with alcohol here soon. Very nice. We will cut a piece. We have to kind of route this wire to the other side. Let me see where it is. Minus is here, so we're gonna route it through the same hole. And then solder on the D minus there. Same procedure, kind of remove the coating. Very well. That is our D minus. And finally, we got our ground. For ground, we're going to use the same wire that we used earlier. So it's only 4 wires. I just bent my solder tip. This was pretty old anyway, so needed to replace it. So there's our ground. These guys want us, according to the schematics, we should put it on, let me see where. Ground is ground, should go anywhere but. Let's follow the instructions here. Ground point, according to these guys, is right next to that IC chip right here. We can verify with a multimeter. We don't want to short anything. Sure enough, that's ground. So let's solder that, and then we're all done. So we check with the multimeter the points. We check the negative data plus data minus, and we are fine. Here we go. It looks good. Let me make sure it's nicer. Much better. It's not going anywhere. Alright guys, so this is how you install a USB Type-C on a Vita. I'm going to clean this up with some alcohol and call it a successful install. We can verify by plugging it in, I guess, but we're not going to do that. I'm sure it works. It's only 4 wires, which we tested with a multimeter. The other side looks like this. Ground to ground, negative to negative. Soldering is good, and once again, thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any comments there, feel free. Anything helps. Hopefully you guys learned something from this video. We'll be making more videos soon. Like and subscribe if you like it. Thank you guys. See you guys soon.